Hello, good people. I just came indoors from my yard, and I just want to tell you, am I doing good? Yeah, I think so. The video, the latest one I put out, and get straight to the point because I'm not going to be here long. The plants and everything's doing good. Everything's pretty green. Everything's growing. Now, we got some sun out here today. I expected to see a jump in the size of the corn. The sun is doing quite well. Good evening. Good evening. Jay, good evening. I am doing quite well, and it all has to do with what I've been preaching all along. I've been saying this for over a year and a half. Good evening. Good evening. And what's going on is, and I couldn't at first believe it myself. I'm growing beautiful plants. My soil is loose. I have tons and tons and tons and tons of worms everywhere. I now don't have to dig for them. They're laying right on the surface underneath weeds. If I pull out a handful of weeds and shake them off, I'm shaking off 4 or 5 worms that are hitting the ground, taking off, running for cover. I can do this at any given time, anywhere. And I think one day I'm gonna do a video on it and demonstrate that purpose. How many worms are actually in my soil now? It all started. Oh, hello. It all started when I started using chop and drop. That's just the truth. Everything else fell in line. When I saw the evidence, I was so skeptical at first. I didn't want to do it because I said, this is a stupid idea to put weeds in the ground for what? And I slept that night and I kept thinking about it. And I said, wait a minute, weeds are organic matter. Why do we think weeds are so bad? Because that's what we were taught. And so I kept thinking about it over and over at work and at home and in the stores I walked to. I kept thinking about it. And I said, weeds are free. And I said, what if we could get all our nutrients from weeds? Why would we need to come into the box stores? And I said, could this actually be something that is not being broadcasted broadly throughout all the gardening communities? That, by the way, the answer to your gardening is right there. It's your garden. It's your weeds. And lo and behold, that's what it was for me. The weeds are everywhere. I pulled them back from my plants. I did some out there today. And guess what? I couldn't do all of it today. So tomorrow I'll get this on. And all I'm doing is pulling back a spot away from my plants. All I'm doing. I'm not doing anything dramatic. I have some, and folks, check this out. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yes, do another video about your worm in your garden. The garden looks wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to tell you something. They're everywhere. These worms are literally everywhere. They are ripping and tearing through the soil. They are leaving their deposits. Why would I need to go out and buy a bag of worm manure? For what? That's money shot straight out. I might as well take the 20 bucks, ball it up in my hand, and throw it out my car while I'm driving. Because that's about as much waste as it is to do something like that. I feel so good. I feel so good. I can't believe what I discovered. See, I'm sitting here right now just thinking about that. I go out there, the corn is so big and tall. and the leaves are wide. The leaves on them are wide. Those on my corn, pretty green, not letting up on size or anything. All my plants are big and fat and burly. Um, Now today, when I pulled my weeds up, I just placed them around the plants, around the watermelon plants, around the cucumber plants. Um, so that I can keep the nourishment really high in that area where that plant is. In other words, I use my weeds like mulch. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. And it's just an incredible thing. I can't believe to myself that I got the answer now. Each year, it's just going to get better and better and better. The soil, um, but those worms. If I need to go fishing, I don't need to go to Walmart and buy worms. All I got to do is go out there with a cup in my hand, move a couple of weeds. There's four there. There's four there. There's five there. There's three there, and I have enough worms to go fishing with. Because I like to go with at least 2 dozen. At least 2 dozen. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting here thinking of this because I went out there this evening. It's sunny out there and everything, and I went out there and fed my plants some of that tea and looked over everything. I try to go out there every day. But for the last 2 days, it's been raining, and we had a lot of overcast. Now, in my area, when I get to overcast, my plants don't move very much. They kind of just sit still. They don't grow very much at all. So I'm comfortable and hip with that. I know what's going on. I looked out there and the plants were still at the same size and height. I said, okay, no problem, no stress about it. When this overcast leaves, these plants are gonna pick back up. And that's what it looks like they're doing out there now. The watermelon vines have some of the biggest leaves that I've ever seen me ever grow watermelon. And that tells you what's going on in the garden. When you get them leaves up and running and big, um, the you want the plant to vine out, so they can, get to the point where they can get some blossoms on them. And I'm telling you, folks, I'm looking and I'm saying, I don't believe this. I do not believe this. Next year, I may even grow more corn because um, I love that peaches and cream corn. It's called peaches and cream. I love it. And if I get any this year and avoid the critters eating it, I'm gonna be one happy cat. I'm gonna be one happy cat because it's just a wonderful thing. I'm thinking about the pears that I saw on the tree. It's not a lot because, like I said, the tree does not have a mate right now. I have another tree that I'm growing next to it. Hopefully, it will flower this year coming up. What's up? What's up? Hey, how you doing? The bull entered into the room and he saw my video, and I appreciate the comment he left. But I tried. It's a lot of people that I've talked to that followed what I was talking about the whole time I was talking about gardening. They were following it. They were following what I was saying because they said this guy, to put it together, he's been gardening for 20 years. 20 years. That's 20 years of mistakes. 20 years. And I made them all. And now, I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I think this is a question here. So you can use weeds in a container, a garden as well as far as yes, yes. Look, folks, think about it this way. Weeds are organic matter. Now, stay with that premise right there. Stay with it. It's organic matter, and on top of that, weeds are um, loaded with minerals. They're loaded with them because their roots. Some of them can get up to 4 to 7 feet deep. Now think about that. That's the weed mining from the soil the nutrients that your plants need, that you need in your own body to be healthy and stay healthy. So the weeds mine it, bring it up through their stems, and leave it in their leaves. And then you either pull them from the ground or you cut them off. I like to cut them off with my weed whacker. Sometimes I pull, sometimes, but most of the time I use my weed whacker because when I cut them off, the roots stay in the ground. And when the roots stay in the ground, excuse me, some weeds will attempt to grow back. The ones that die, they leave their deposits from the root in the ground, and that nourishes the ground. It also leaves little tunnels and openings in the ground where the roots went through. The worms act crazy when all this is going on because to them, it's an ample food supply. So they go up around your plants, excreting liquids and excreting solids. They're living, they're dying, they're mating, and everything all around your plant underneath the ground. So when this is all taking place, it's you don't have to worry about are they eating or not, your plants eating or not. They taught you and they taught me that weeds were a bad thing, and all of us took it in. I took it in for years. I used to see a weed near my plants and immediately go out there and try to pull it up. Now I don't do that anymore. All I do is back them off at least 15 inches, and all plants undergo what we call competition. That's just nature. That's just the way it is. But you back them off, you pull them up if you want to, lay them down around your plant. They will rot down. They will mulch around your plant as you continue doing this. And when they mulch, the worms come up and get them. The biology come up and get them. The moisture from a rain will sit on at the base of your plant longer because you have this organic matter around it. Folks, I'm telling you, I use tree branches. I use, if I grow a bush, if a bush comes up somewhere, it gets hacked down and cut up, and I use it. And I'm gonna tell you something. You can lay this stuff on the surface, and it will disappear. It will disappear. I'll give you another good example. I used to watch these videos of these professionals, and they would show you. They say, "Okay, I grew my corn, I grew my tomatoes, I grew my okra. Now it's near the end of the year. I'm going to tear everything out of the garden. I'm going to put it over in the compost pile. For what? That's what I'm saying. For what? Why are you doing this?" Now I know it does. I know it looks unsightly. Yeah, got that. It looks unsightly. I leave mine there so that it will leave organic matter in the soil. When you're eating okra, when you're eating peas, when you're eating watermelon, when you're eating cantaloupe, all of this, you're taking nutrients out of that soil. It's no longer there anymore. So and then you go put a crop in next year. Go to the store, buy bags of manure, bags of compost, put all this stuff back in, or you're going to take it up and get it out of your compost pile, which sometimes some of our compost piles aren't really all that nutritious as we think they are because, you might only use certain leaves or certain weeds and you're not getting all the nutrients you want. But when you get it from a weed that's alive and drilling in the ground and tapping all kinds of nutrients, a weed carries a lot of power in it, and you put it that at the base of your plants, or you lay it on your soil, and it goes back into the soil, but then it goes into the top layers of your soil, so you're benefiting. I did my own research in a way because what I did is I just kept my eyes open, I kept watching, and I kept watching this soil, and I kept watching these weeds, and I watched how weeds move around in your garden. Certain weeds will grow over here for few years, and then they'll move over here, and they'll grow a few years, and then the grass will come up over here, and then the grass will go over this area. And I watched that, and I said, okay, the weeds tell you what's going on in your soil. Some weeds will only grow in poor soil because that's what their environment is suited for. That's what they like. So on that time, I mean, I just want to say it's looking good. It's only up from here. But folks, when you get a chance, I want you to get a tool for your garden, and it's called a manure fork. I paid about $8 for mine. It might be $12 now in some places, but I got it from Walmart. That is my favorite tool right now, period, in my garden. I don't even use a shovel anymore to dig through, and I don't do that. I use the manure fork. Manure fork, 6 foot. I keep saying 8, but there's a 6 foot handle on it. Do not buy that little short one. It's not going to do what you want it to do. Get that one that's 8. Uh, that's got the 8-inch spread. It's got these thin, long, 8-inch long tongs on it. I think I'm saying that right. Prongs on it, and that's what you want to do. And this will wind up being one of your favorite tools once you learn how to use it, because you loosen the soil with it. You're not turning over soil. You're not turning it over. Remember, You're not turning anything over. You're simply loosening the soil. Once you loosen that soil up, about 2 feet across, you put the plant right in the center of that. And when you do that, you will see that plants grow better when they have oxygen that can get into those roots. When you loosen that soil, when you pull that soil, all you're doing is lifting it up and letting it down. Love your YouTube networking. Place, find useful, efficient. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Wow. I'm just reading through some of the stuff, folks. Let's see. Okay, all right. Let's see. That's Jay said they understand. It sounds like Jay is going to get on it and get that manure fork in his arsenal. That's going to be an awesome tool once you start using it. You're going to say, "Oh, okay, I like this. I'm learning so much." Oh, thank you. You're learning so much. I got that. Thank you very much. Um, all I do, folks, is I love gardening so much. Even people at work now say, "Oh, don't say nothing that's got the word gardening in it, because you're gonna start talking." And that's what they say, because I mean that's what I do. Um, and I was asked a question today, almost stumped me at the front desk where I work, and she said, "I have this some kind of adrenia. I think is what the plant is." She said, "I want to change the pot out. What do I do?" And so I gave her some information on that. And folks, I'm not a person that deals with house plants. I'm not a person that deals with house plants, but I do know that one thing it has in common with outdoor plants is it's a plant. So there are a lot of things that I can think about that it needs, like nourishment, food, water. Um, and I talked about what size pot you should put it on. Don't put it in too big a pot. Graduate your pot, because plants are more comfortable that way if they get graduated into a larger pot. So, I left her right there, and she was happy with the information. I told her what to do in case she has a situation with plants that wilt once you change them out of a pot. You could do half an aspirin in a gallon of water and water it in so it could kind of get itself back together. It helps out. Okay, let's see what we got here. Bull garden, wonderful. Okay, that's great. That's great. Hi, Stephanie. Okay, all right. And the bull chimed in. He chimed in. He does a lot of gardening. He does a lot of compost piles. Um, and compost piles. This is a positive thing. Um, you store it up in an area, and then you use it as you need it. You know, some people make the compost piles with using those what they call them things, pallets, and they strap them together with those heavy duty zip ties. That way they don't have to keep pulling at it and nailing stuff together and all that. You don't need to do all that. Just zip tie it together with the heavy duty ones, and it'll be fine. That'll help keep the pile more much neater. That's what all it does really. Some people do the 3 tier ones, and that's what all this is good, but it's not for me. But it works. It definitely works. That's the one thing I said. I mean, because what's the one thing I'm trying to think. Here's what I do, folks. When I put a plant in the ground, I plan everything out. How much space is going to be apart. I have nothing to do with neatness. I don't care about neatness at all. I don't care about that. I put a big hole in the ground. That's what I do with the manure fork. 2 foot hole is the minimum I will put in the ground. And once I put that in the ground, that hole gets um, a plant inside in the center of it, and I gently tamp it in. And as far as the water is concerned, if it's moist and the soil is not dry, like the Sahara Desert or anything, I won't water it. If it's got moisture in the soil, I will not water that plant. Um, and if it's a if it's a plant that I purchased, I will not. Hello. I will not start fertilizing that plant until that plant starts showing signs of growth. Once it starts showing me that it's budding out some leaves or whatever, then I'll start fertilizing. I like for my plants to know that you need to familiarize yourself with the soil. You need to take it and get familiar with it, and then I'll start feeding it. I don't feed it right off the bat. I don't feed trees that I put in the ground. I don't feed them right off the bat. I don't put no compost around them. I don't put no fertilizer around them. None of that. I need this tree to start sending roots outward, not stay in that one little hole and try to feed right there. I said before, it's like a child that you give a cell phone to, an allowance to, a car to, free food, shelter. They're not going to ever leave. They're not going to ever leave. Why should they leave? And that's how that works. So, that being said, folks, get that manure fork. You got fall coming up. You're going to start putting some things in the ground. Use that manure fork. Get creative with the manure fork. Do long trenches with it. And really get down in there and loosen that soil up 8 inches deep, folks. And when you do that, don't flip the soil over. Don't do none of that stuff. Don't do any of that flipping over stuff. Leave the soil intact because you don't want to tear the holes where this biology lives. Don't flip it around and do all that. Don't do that. That will set you back. That will make it so that you would say, "Oh man, the morning gardener told me wrong. This is not working." Tell me about that. Never. Okay, that one I don't. Let's see. Tell me about that. Never leaving. Okay, you got me on that one. I am the morning gardener. I gave myself that name because I like to get up real early. I used to come to work real early. I still do, but not as early as I used to. I used to get there an hour early and all that. They told me one day, stop, stop, stop. Let's see. And remember, spend more time watching your soil than your plants. Pay attention to your soil. This video was entitled How to Grow in Dead Soil. Because folks, believe me, I had dead soil. It was completely dead. That's why I named it this. How to grow big eggplants. Cut that leaf off the bottom. Keep them from. Just about any plant you can prune. Any plant you can prune. If you want bigger grapes, prune them. If you want, because when you pruning grapes, what you're doing is okay. The grapes gonna put out all these little grape oh god blossoms in a sense, and you're gonna remove some of those. You're gonna remove them 8 inches apart. You're gonna remove them because if you don't, you can grow a whole bunch of grapes, but a lot of small grapes. So you get those, and then when they start vining all the way out to these shoots 6 to 7 feet out, break them off about 2.5 feet. from your actual grape clusters. And when you do that, it's going to send that energy back into your grape clusters instead of sending it into vines. Vines are great if you're trying to grow um, new grapevines, and they easy to grow. One of the easiest plants to grow extra plants with is grapevines, because that's why I'm growing one out there now. Once it gets a certain size to it, I will take these cuttings, I will poke them in the ground where I want them, and I don't have to think about them no more. When the spring comes, they will pop out, and I'll have a grapevine right there in that location. But what you want to do is use a colorful little marker. It could be a number 2 pencil or something. You want to mark where these plants are, because you can use you can use the locating them early. I mean later, because you're going to need to. That's the use of roots. Hopefully, or travel. Oh, okay. I don't know who Stephanie is, but I will say this. Um, you have a plant that has to learn how to survive in that area. There's nutrients in your soil, because most of us have clay soil. That's what we have, clay soil. Clay soil is loaded with nutrients. Why would you feed them, get them familiar with an ample supply of manure, or let's say rabbit droppings, or cow manure, right there in that location? Right there. Why would I venture out to go anywhere? Because I'm eating fine here. That's like me sitting down in front of a bushel of crabs, and you ask me to go to another table and eat 2 shrimp. No, I'm gonna stay right here where this bushel of crabs are, and because it's ample supply of food here, I'm gonna stay there. And so you want to make sure you do that. Is put the tree in the ground, or the bush, or the grapevine, or the kiwi plant. Put it in the ground, water it in, leave it. Watch it, check it, look at it. Couple days, a week, 2 weeks, it's going to start sending out shoots. It's going to start sending out leaves. Once this takes place, you start fertilizing. Fertilizing could be compost put around the top of the soil where the plant is. 2 inches, 3 inches deep, beautiful. Stop holding back on the compost, put it down there. What are you saving it for? You put it all down there and leave it on top. Once you leave it on top, the soil will do what? It will take it in. Mother Nature designed it that way. That's how it works. And putting it in the bottom of a hole and stirring it up, I used to do that crazy stuff. I used to do that. And now I look at how crazy it was, when all you had to do was set it on top. See, all my plants are fed top down. For years, I did it with the mix it up in a hole and all that. I've done that before. It doesn't work that well. It doesn't work that well. Hello, how you doing there? Food forest, permaculture. It doesn't work that well. It works, but not as well as putting the food supply on top of the soil. Gravity takes everything down into the soil. When it rains, it takes compost. It creates a compost tea, and it takes it down into the ground gradually. And the plants like it better that way. It's a natural way plants eat. Things hit the surface, whether it be dead animals, oh, thank you very much. Somebody sent me $2 there. I appreciate it. Wow. They appreciate what I'm saying. Thank you. Um, so that's the deal. Mr. Brown sent the $2. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Uh, the thing about it is, I definitely have a better technique of feeding them, because you put it on top, it falls into the soil. When animals walk around on the soil, they excrete their waste. It hits the ground, it falls into the soil. When they release their liquids, it hits the ground, it falls into the soil. See, everything works that way. The rabbit is. I think you broke there. The rabbit is dead. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. What, you lost some of your rabbits? Oh, no, no, no. You couldn't have lost some of your rabbits tomorrow. You said tomorrow. Um, yeah. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. The rabbit poo is great stuff sprinkled on top of the soil around the plant. And that's how that works. It's some of the best fertilizer you can get. And so, that being said, folks, I'm going. I'm going to. I'm just thinking about what I got to do. My trees look good. I got to get a mate for those other cherry trees. Um, and the what they call that tree, the pear tree. The folks say, I said, oh no, no, not dead. What do I have? Have a great day, everyone. Picking the peaches and the cherries. Beautiful thing, food forest. Beautiful thing. Picking the peaches. It looks so good. It looks so good out there in my yard. Everything's so green. I have to go out and cut the grass tomorrow. I know that, and then I have to go out and pull back some of the weeds around some of these plants because you want to just keep everything in some kind of control, and that's all that you got to do. I want some cherries. Blue flowers on cultured LB. Oh man, there's a lot of people in here. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. I'm down to six now, but that's okay. Um, I am talking about gardening, and it's always an exciting subject to me. I said, ooh, sounds good. Who far? Who far had to leave? Go out into your yards, folks, if you still got some time left today. Look at your garden, look at your leaves. The leaves will tell you what's going on with the plant. Look at them, see if you see any spots, if you see that they're not as green as they could be. If they're not, then add a little bit of nitrogen. And depending on the plant, if it's a grapevine or something like that, look at it. If it's growing all wild and gangly, look and see how many clusters you have. If you have to thin them out, some thin them. If they're getting all wild and gangly, you can actually clip back some of those long pieces of plant, throw them at the base of your plant, keep that food cycle going. All right, folks, this has been the Morning Garden. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate every last one of you. And remember, I do shows. I still do shows. So, stop by and hit me up or see a new video I put up. And all my videos are angled towards making you a better gardener. This is the Morning Garden Show, and I want to thank each and every one for tuning in. And remember to keep on growing. I appreciate you. Take care.